Good morning and welcome to my outdoor sanctuary slash studio. It's pretty early on a Sunday morning and I've got an engine here I want to share with you all, but first I want to preface this video with a couple of disclaimers. My voice may not sound as good and I'm really not feeling 100% right now, but I think this video and this engine are worth talking about. Now, let me just preface this by saying that when I started this channel, my intention was to create the world's largest RC Glow engine video database. And I think I've done that, but over the course of time, I've encountered a lot of different people in this community that were just incredibly generous, kind, and giving. And over the years, I have received many very special gifts of engines and other things, not just engines, but things related to this hobby, and I've always done the best that I could to share these things with you because I believe that's what this is all about, is sharing. Now, I'm not going to go into all the names of all the many people that have given me things, or even the ones that have sent their engines to me just to put on the channel and help the database, because I don't have a list that's too long, and I don't want to do injustice to anyone. But suffice it to say that this engine that I'm going to show you today is incredibly special, as they all are, and this man has been through a lot of trials in the last few years, and I'm not going to go into his personal details, but he has been through a lot, and for him to be as generous and provide me with this engine as a gift is beyond measure. So Jan, I want to thank you for this, and I'll thank you for allowing me to share this with the community of people that we've got gathered here. So, with all that said, my teddy boy's here. I may have some squirrels in the background, even though I don't have any peanuts on hand for them. Let's get into talking about this engine. So let's take that hat off, put this hat on. This engine, as you can see here, is a very special twin-cylinder OS Super Gemini FT240. This arrived at my house yesterday. Now this engine dates back, not this specific engine, but the engine in general dates back to 1984. And those of you that watched my last series on the FF320 Pegasus will know that I was really keen on serial numbers and understanding the serial numbers, and I contacted as many people as I could regarding their engines and their serial numbers and copyright dates of materials and all of that to try to put a picture together. And I was never able to understand, especially with the four-cylinder, what the serial numbers meant as far as when they appeared in the timeline. Now this engine has got a pretty tough looking box here. This is from the vendor, CamillaCollects.com. That's the person that it was purchased from. And here is the engine. Now this is a new in box, new old stock. And if I remember correctly, this was purchased from the estate of a hobby shop owner. I don't know when exactly that took place. It really doesn't matter because this is a pretty old engine. Now, let me just pull this out real quick and show you that yes, this is a beautiful FT240, but that's not as important at this moment as the contents of this box and what was hidden under this top thing here. So as you can see, we've got the complete, I'm not sure how I'm going to rotate this video yet, so I need to keep things consistent. We've got the complete decal sheet, never touched, beautiful. And one thing that's really important, well, we've got the template. The thing that's really important to me, and hopefully to many of you, is this instruction manual. Now look at this. It's held together with one staple at the corner. That's it. Now, it has the look very much like that Pegasus manual that I had. Photocopied, stapled, not a book or a binder. Now, I was wrong, very wrong, when I spoke about my Pegasus manual, in that I said, well, that doesn't have a copyright on it. OS doesn't have copyrights. Well, they did at one point, and I don't know that Japan has copyright laws, but I know that things coming into the United States from Japan have to be copyrighted. So, if we look at the very last page of this manual, you will see, hopefully you will see, that there is not a single copyright notice anywhere, and it would be on this page right around where it says OS Engines. So, with that said, there is no copyright information on that, and you can see how old that manual looks. Now, let's go to the contents of this, and I am referencing this sheet here right now as far as is this complete. So we've got fixed mounting screws, we've got the harness, and I've already looked at a lot of this stuff, and I haven't opened any of these packages. Here we've got hex keys, 8mm, 7mm wrench, the rocker arm adjusting wrench, which is a box end. Here you've got the spare Woodruff key, which is also on that list. Here you've got the mounting screws with the blind nuts. Let's just drop these things right back in here. This pack has, it looks like 2 additional prop nuts. Let's see if we have that here. I'm not really seeing that, which is interesting, because to me it looks like there's 2 additional sets of prop locking nuts here, in addition to the one that's already on the engine, which I'll show you a little bit more closely too. And then here is another large spacer for the shaft. I don't know if, you know, and the hole in the prop hub here. I never had an engine, or wasn't flying in those days when you would drill holes in a prop and secure it like that, so this is all kind of foreign to me. And then of course here's the feeler gauges, a little bit different looking set than what was in the Pegasus. So that's all the accessories that came with it. Now the one thing that I think is interesting is that there is one item that is missing from here, and if you look back here, this long slot is a long slot for a particular reason. It's because there's supposed to be a 14mm, 17mm box end combo wrench like I had in the Pegasus. That is not here. So that's the one thing in this engine that is not complete. So, am I complaining? No. But it doesn't surprise me really, because usually, and I've done it too, when you get an engine like this, even if it's just a Sato single cylinder, because they would come with, I think, 12 and 14mm open-end wrenches, combo wrenches. The first thing a person takes out is the tool, the biggest tool, because you use it. So it doesn't surprise me that that was taken out and that it wasn't replaced, because those are the types of things you're like, well, here's a tool, it's a nice tool, I'm going to throw it in my toolbox. Well, that's what happened probably. So now let's let me reframe here and zoom in a bit more. So here is this beautiful engine. Now I can guarantee you that this engine has never been run. I can smell it. You can just tell. I've had enough new unrun engines that you can just tell. But this thing is it came equipped here with the, like I said, this is a duplicate set with these screws in too, because there's yet another one of those in there too, as you just saw. But it came with the 2, OSF glow plugs, complete like this. Now here's where things get really interesting. I don't know if my camera's going to pick this up or not. Anyway, I can show you on the box too, because the box matches. This is serial number, let me just zoom back out because you're not going to be able to see it. Serial number 1146, 1146. Now, had this been the Pegasus engine, I would say that was pretty far into the life cycle of the engine, because that last Pegasus I had that had a similar looking manual was 582, I believe, or 581. So because this is fewer cylinders, less parts, a less expensive engine at the time of manufacturing, I'm assuming that maybe they made more quantities initially. Because how else do we explain 1146 as the serial number when you have a manual that looks like this. You would think that had they had similar production lives as the Pegasus, that by serial number 1000 they would have had a more refined looking manual, maybe 3 staples instead of just 2, maybe a book, maybe with a copyright. So I don't know, this is one of those things that it's fun for me to try and sit and speculate and think about and try to decipher and say, well, you know, how old is this engine really? Does 1000 put it within 1987, 1986? I don't know. There's no way I'm ever going to be able to confirm that for sure. All I know is that I am the extremely proud owner of this OS FT240 Super Gemini. Now, the one thing that I think is also very important to talk about with these engines, especially the 240, especially early ones, which is what the manual tends to indicate to me, and many people know this, and you can verify it on the first, the only review article I found on this engine, is that the connecting rods on these were made of bronze initially, and then apparently they started having some failures. I'm not exactly sure the nature of it. All I know is a friend of mine, Harvey, has quite a bit of information, and he's seen a lot of this before. So they failed, and subsequent releases, I'm not sure if the FT300, which has the same connecting rod, ever had the bronze failing type connecting rods, or if they had it fixed then. I'm not sure. All I know for sure is that some of these did. Now, does that matter to me? Probably not, because the things I'm going to do with this engine, it may not ever matter. I may not run this engine more than 10 times total on a stand. Who knows? However, if I do decide to ever pass this engine on to somebody, I would like to know, especially somebody who might intend to fly with it, I would like to have a better peace of mind as to what the internal structure materials are. The only way for me to know if these have bronze connecting rods is to remove a head. Pull the head off completely, have the piston hang out here, and look at it and make a video or take pictures of it, and have the viewers and subscribers look at it, and especially have my friend Harvey look at it, because I'm not sure I would know. I mean, I'm sure I could find pictures. I may even have pictures in my database already about this is what a good one looks like, and here's what a failed one looks like. So I might be able to tell a difference in color or shape or material, workmanship. I don't know. All I know is that that's the only way I would ever know for sure, is pull ahead and look at it. Do I want to do that? No. Do I need to do that at some point? Yes. Am I going to do it before I run it? Probably not, because I don't see that there's a benefit in doing it before I run it, because honestly, I don't know if these things were failing 1 hour into running, or 4 hours, or 4 gallons of fuel. I have no idea of when the failures would take place, if they were initially, or if they were after a period of time. Now perhaps Harvey, when he sees this video, maybe he's going to give me some more information on it than that. Now if it's one of those things where he's heard on at least 2 occasions that, yeah, right out of the box, it blew up, then I will definitely pull ahead and check it, because the last thing I want to do, obviously, is put this thing on the stand one time and blow it up. Now I have run one of these on my channel before. A fellow sent me his, and I think he sent it, well, he sent it for that particular reason. He sent it to me specifically, yeah, it was. He sent it specifically to me to check the connecting rods. Or was that a 300? I don't know. All I know is I have had one of these before. I ran it, and I made 5 videos on an FT240. So I would say there'll probably be at least another 5 videos using this engine. So I think that's enough of me rambling on here. I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to go see if I feel up to mowing the lawn. So anyway, that concludes this video. And Jan, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is tremendous. Thank you all for watching.